everything in our power to provide the needed relief aid to our dear brothers in these affected areas. We love you very much and thank you for tuning in for this update.
I wish we could help. Me too. Oh, I have an idea. Yes! What is it, sweetie? Can I give this to our brothers affected by the hurricane?
Of course you can. We'll put it in the contribution box on Sunday.
My piggy bank was empty. I guess I can't help.
There are many things you can do to help. First, you can save some money for next time. Second, you can think about them and pray for them. You know, Jesus felt the same way when he was here on earth. Do you remember what he said when he helped the leper?
I want to!
Yes, he did what he could to help others. Just like you. That makes us very proud of you.
Good morning, everybody.
How'd you enjoy Watchtower's search for more money?
You know, it's bad enough that they wanted their ice cream money, but now they want them to empty their piggy banks and give them everything.
Well, it's just more evidence that's being provided that the Watchtower and Babel Crap Society will go to any length to control every single aspect of the Jehovah Witness life, especially those that'll go to Bethel. Because what we have here is a letter from two ex-Bethelites, and they're going to describe what lengths the Watchtower and Babel, the demonistic side of Watchtower, will go to control every single, and I mean every single aspect of your life. Guys, when we read what we have, you're going to see just how dark Watchtower is.
Trigger warning, guys. Okay, now for those of you who don't know, we had done a video several years about the vow of poverty that they have to sign. And I know it's kind of small, so actually I'll just put the screenshot up here, but it's the vow of obedience and poverty. And when you go into Bethel, you have to read and sign this. Basically sign your life away, literally.
Yeah, right. You're signing more than that away when you read what we got.
Order of Special Full-Time Servants of Jehovah's Witnesses. As an ordained minister who wholly dedicated to Jehovah God, I hereby express my solemn desire to be recognized as a member of the worldwide order of special full-time servants of Jehovah's Witnesses. The order vow as follows. Now when you read, see the elder's letter, it's from the Religious Order of Jehovah's Witnesses. So it's a totally different corporation or part of Watchtower.
It's like an octopus. They've got their testicles. I mean, there are tentacles everywhere.
Well, it isn't just the ones at Bethel. It's missionaries,
yeah,
those in the special, international building committees, and the circuit overseers. And when they used to have district overseers and zone overseers, they all had to sign this. Right. I'm going to read this real quick. Let's see. Vow as follows. While a member of the order, to live the simple, non-materialistic lifestyle that has traditionally existed for members of the order. Sounds like a secret society, doesn't it?
It is. It is a secret, because how many of the rank and file of Jehovah's Witnesses sitting in the Kingdom Hall. Well, let me ask you dumbass elders, how many of you have even read this during a service meeting? How about a local needs? How about letting all of the rank and file know that there's a secret order within the organization?
Before they send their teenage kids to Bethel.
There you go.
In the spirit of the inspired words of the prophet Isaiah, Isaiah 6, 8, it looks like, very small print, and the prophetic expression of the psalmist, Psalms 110:3, to volunteer my service to do whatever is assigned to me in the advancement of kingdom interests wherever I am assigned for the order. To be submissive to the theocratic arrangement for members of the order. To devote my best full-time efforts to my assignment. Number 5, to abstain from secular employment without permission from the order.
No, what you mean? No, wait. If you're ordered to be in the XJ Jehovah Witness community as a plant, then you would be ordered not to go to work, per se, perhaps, except just sit here and act as a troll because you're being ordered by Watchtower to be a troll? Hey, I'm just playing off of what's being fed right here from Watchtower's order, perhaps, Darrow.
Number 7, to accept such provisions for members of the order, be they meals, lodging, expense, reimbursements, or others, as are made in the country where I serve, regardless of the level of my responsibility or the value of my services.
You mean, come up with some sort of idea to keep throwing the flies in the ointment so the XJWs can't be united as one strong force against Watchtower? You mean that type of thing?
Well, I'm thinking of Watchtower's lawyers that actually have a private practice on the side
Of course.
while being full-time, at Bethel.
How do you think these guys can afford to drive the cars that they drive? How do you think these guys
Liquor stores?
spend money at liquor stores?
Okay, number 8.
Jesus.
To be content and satisfied with the modest support that I receive from the order as long as I am privileged to serve in the order and not to expect any further remuneration should I choose to leave the order or should the order determine that I no longer qualify to serve in the order.
Translation is sit down, shut up,
And do your job.
And do your job and just live off the measly little scraps that we give you.
Yeah. Number 9, to abide by the principles set out in God's inspired word, the Bible, in publications of Jehovah's Witnesses, and in policies dispensed by the order, and to follow the directions of the governing body of Jehovah's Witnesses. And number 10, to accept readily any decision made by the order regarding my membership status.
You mean like what David said? I have not sat down with men who conspire and hide who and what they are. You mean that kind of principle?
Yeah.
No, I got it. Really, Watchtower, I got it.
Yeah.
We got this all under control.
And I want to thank the friends, who sent me this package, because I knew it was coming, and it's like, oh boy, I didn't know what was coming. And when I started reading it, I had to call them up, and it's like, wow, yeah, I'm triggered.
Hey, it's snowing. Look at this.
Oh, good Lord.
It's the 1st of May and it's snowing.
Wow. Okay, now, thank you, sweetie, because she sent me an email after I had talked to her, and she says you can mention about us signing the vow of poverty paper, which we just read, and signing our burial rights to
What?
be buried at Wallkill should we die during Bethel's service, since the cemetery was located at Wallkill. So many of you may not know, Watchtower has not only one but several cemeteries, and I know they have one at the farms because someone a year or two ago sent me all the names of all the witnesses buried at the farm cemetery. So when you sign these papers, you also sign over burial rights, which means your family does not get your body when you die. Watchtower does.
Do you see how dark this now becomes against Watchtower? This is, I mean, how much control do you really want, Watchtower? It goes to the point to where you control the dead bodies. That's sick. That's dark.
Creepy.
That's very sadistic. And I guarantee you, you guys dig into Masonic rituals, and you will find that somehow, some way, this is an ancient Masonic ritual. I mean, honestly, just read your Bibles, and you read the account of the Israelites leaving Egypt. And what did they leave with? They left with the bodies of Abraham and Joseph. I mean, you Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe in life after death. The body is of no value, but yet in a dark, sadistic, twisted way, in these guys' sick minds, that body, even though it's dead, still represents absolute control over the living.
Okay, so back to the email. They call it the launching pad. So the cemetery at Wallkill is a launching pad because when the anointed are buried there, the anointed are buried there too, they go straight to heaven. So that's why they call it the launching pad.
Yeah, but let's keep the body here on earth. Yeah, right. Sick, sick, sick.
Yeah. But anyway, here's to the letter we got from our friends. Now, for their protection, I'm not going to say which branch they were serving at or when, but it's been a few years back.
And I'll keep quiet while she reads this, because I just might accidentally let something slip that I'm not supposed to. And if I do, she'll edit it out, trust me.
Okay. As children, we were taught by Watchtower that Armageddon was around the corner. Now it's any minute.
Any minute, that's right. Any minute, brothers.
We were told that material possessions were not important and could even hinder our worship to Jehovah. And as I just read in the Vow of Poverty, it pushes the same, thing. That, you don't want anything materialistic. The order is going to take care of you, so you don't need anything. Yeah. A college education was considered unnecessary and even dangerous. My wife was offered a fully paid 4-year college scholarship at a very prestigious university, but she turned down the scholarship. Before we married as a couple, we decided not to have children and would regular pioneer. Most of the secular work we did was part-time. As the years went by, we lived very modestly. We never went hungry, but our life was living by the seat of our pants, like most rank and file do. We were very active in supporting the organization's guidance on avoiding the accumulation of material goods. That was not difficult since we had very little. I remember Watchtower regularly citing Matthew 8:20 that said that Jesus had nowhere to lay down his head. Watchtower also cited Jesus' words at Matthew 6:19 when he said, "Stop storing up for yourselves treasure on the earth, where moth and rust consume and where thieves break in and steal." Since the world would soon come to its end, why worry about the future? Everything was going to be destroyed in Armageddon anyway. And I remember a couple of years ago on the regional convention, Anthony Morris gave a talk about storing things up in heaven instead of, he called it making a deposit in the bank of heaven.
The bank of heaven, the heavenly bank, or some nonsense, some twisted, sadistic way of manipulating the mind.
But obviously he has some money.
Oh yeah.
As we entered into our 30s, we applied for Bethel service. We were shocked when we were accepted because we had no special secular skills. We sold everything we had. Our bed, lamps, kitchenware, TV, table, and chairs. Family and friends gave us a nice send-off and we traveled to New York. Here's where reality reared its ugly head. We came in with a large group of single brothers and a few married couples. In our orientation, we were told we would be taking a vow of poverty. We were told that Watchtower would handle our income tax filings and other related financial matters. Then came the shocker. Watchtower wanted to know if we had real estate holdings, stock investments, royalties, or other investment income. We all looked at each other with confusion. We were poor pioneers. Later that week, a meeting was set up for us with a Watchtower accountant so we could open up a checking and savings account with Watchtower's bank of choice.
But see, what they're doing is they're, through the Caleb cartoon, they're slowly but mentally getting the Jehovah's Witness to give up their piggy bank account.
We had a small amount to deposit. Well, it also goes along with the fact of Watchtower's control. They can't allow you to have your own bank account. They want to set up this bank account, and they can control everything, your tax returns and everything.
And that is now filtered down into anybody who wants to build a kingdom hall, because you have to have a joint checking account with Watchtower.
Yeah, with the LDC.
Yeah, this is nothing but legalized crimes is what this is.
Yeah. Okay, back to the letter. At Bethel, we were given a monthly allowance which covered transportation costs for meeting attendance and personal hygiene items like toothpaste, shampoo, deodorant, etc. It was not possible to save money at Bethel on the monthly allowance allocation. Hence, Bethelites were very creative in picking up a few extra dollars. Well, I thought they weren't supposed to work secularly unless the order gives you permission.
Creative means, no, see, what this really translates into being creative is faking being sick on a Sunday morning and then driving 40, 50 miles to a liquor store, buying some booze,
and then
selling it back to ex-Bethelites so they can have another drunken party. That's what that translates into, being creative.
That's what he was doing.
Or maybe, going out into the parking lot after a meeting and say, hey, you want some oregano?
Mike hasn't read this letter, so he doesn't know what's in here. Wait till you hear this. Some would find old wood furniture at a thrift store or dumpster and refinish it at the Bethel wood shop. Then they would resell it for a small profit. Some secretly did odd jobs on vacation time when they went home for family visits.
Secretly? So now you have a society within a society, a secret society. Because, if they're doing this secretly, but then again it shows the fear that still dwells in the minds even of those in Bethel, because you wouldn't dare get caught doing this. That's why it's done secretly.
Well, it's like signing this vow of poverty. It's like, good grief. And like when I was talking to them on the phone, I said, me being the rebel, I would say, it's none of your damn business, if I have real estate holdings or stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What concern of this is yours?
Yeah. Back to the letter. Occasionally, airlines would run a promotion with a supermarket on low airfares. If a shopper accumulated a certain dollar amount of shopping receipts at a specific supermarket, they could qualify for a cheap airfare. We would go to the supermarket and search the parking lot for discarded receipts on the floor. We would also ask shoppers as they were leaving the store if they were going to need their shopping receipt. This is how many of us were able to go home to visit our families.
Wow. Talk about graveling for money. Jeez.
That's really pathetic. That's pathetic. And I don't feel bad for the rank of, I don't feel, ill will towards the Bethelites, because they do what they have to do to survive. But this triggered me and made me so angry at Watchtower of how low can they be to control these people and slaves.
But wake up and just, hey, hashtag, wake up and walk away from Bethel.
Well, Bethel had a commissary where you could purchase food items at discount prices. Yeah.
Unless you leave, and then they're going to charge you for that fruit.
$5 for an apple and a banana.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marcus Vaughan. They had ice cream, cookies, potato chips, and other items. We rarely went to the commissary for obvious reasons. No money. We began to notice that there were Bethelites that had a lot of money. They would talk about vacationing in Europe, skiing in Aspen, yachting in San Diego, and going to international conventions abroad. How could they do it on a Bethel allowance? Guess how? They had real estate holdings, stock investments, rental properties, royalties, and in some cases, rich JW parents that had accumulated vast amounts of wealth. Also, several Bethelites had college degrees. There were lawyers, architects, computer scientists, doctors, and other professions that required a university education. Was it that they became JWs after going to college? In some situations, that was the case, but many of them were second, third, and fourth generation JWs. Their JW parents sent them to college. One Bethel supervisor told us his father insisted he go to college because he wanted him to take over the family business in the future.
Read that again. One Bethel supervisor told us
his father insisted he go to college because he wanted him to take over the family business in the future.
How many of you guys are willing to take a bet right now that that was a voting member on the board of directors in Pennsylvania? Now keep in mind, I haven't read this. I'm willing to bet that that family business is the Watchtower and Babel Crap Society.
That's scary.
Why?
We later found out at an annual business meeting of the Watchtower Corporation that his father was a voting member of the Watchtower Bible Tract Society of Pennsylvania.
Do we know this organization or what? I mean,
scary.
Like I said, guys, for Kim and I, with the amount of study and research that we've done, this is just second nature for us now. It's like, my goodness. So read that. We later found out that at an annual business meeting
of the Watchtower Corporation. Now, this is the board meeting that they usually have before, the annual meeting. It's the business meeting.
And this is the one where they get searched to make absolutely sure there's no recording devices.
That's what we heard.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
cool.
That his father was a voting member of the Watchtower and Bible Tract Society of Pennsylvania. That's the board member.
Wow.
Okay, what the hell was going on? Had they not received the same counsel as we did in the publications and assembly talks given by the governing body and its representatives on higher education and materialism? Gonna pause here. I know it's gonna take us forever to get through this letter.
Sorry, guys, but we just can't help ourselves.
But when we were in Wisconsin, there was an elder. And in fact, one of his sons was a substitute circuit overseer.
Yeah.
And he would always get on the platform and give these talks about, how to raise your kids and, not have a higher education and stay, faithful and loyal in the truth and not to go out in the world. And then come to find out that he was in the fishing game, wasn't it? He had left the truth when he was young, got into fishing game, worked all those years, made a nice pension.
Healthy retirement, guys.
And then when he retired, he became a Jehovah's Witness, or came back to the truth, and then he was loaded.
Yeah, and so he's up on the platform giving counsel to the young ones what not to do. Don't do what I did. Yeah, that's real easy for someone to sit up there and hypocritically give advice, doing just the opposite of what he did. Because see, it's easy to get up there and say, don't go for this job, don't go for that job, when you've done that thing and your life is now secure until the day you die. But that don't work no more, not in this world. It don't work.
Yeah, and I know we all have some hypocrisy in us. We're all imperfect, we're all humans. Well, just like someone did a video attacking us and then turn around and they're a very bad boy.
Yeah. But Jehovah forgave him.
Yeah, well, whatever. Okay, back to the letter. I digress. This rules for you and rules for us mentality was very noticeable. And we see it constantly.
Yeah, we do.
see it constantly, especially with these Bible bullies.
Yeah.
Watchtower operates with a double standard system. Yes, they
Always. Even at the congregation level, it's a double standard system.
One standard for the rich and another for the rest of us. And that's so true, like Mike just mentioned. We've seen it in every congregation we've been in.
Yeah.
So even down at the lowly congregation level. So you can see that it goes all the way to the very top.
And that is not, by any stretch of the imaginations, a brotherhood.
No.
It's not a brotherhood.
Yeah. And just like the convention, that's what made me so triggered watching those clips from the leak convention videos, because it's like, oh, love for your brothers and your neighbor unfailingly. This is what Jehovah requires.
Nope.
No, I've never seen
Nope.
it. Never. Back to the letter. I remember a Bethelite I worked with becoming very upset when he found out a spiritually weak witness he had grown up with, who had run off to college, was now a highly respected Watchtower lawyer.
There it is. You know, you leave the truth when you're young, you get educated, you acquire the money, come back into the truth, and now you're a highly respected elder within the congregation.
Or Watchtower lawyer.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same bullshit through and through and through. Wake up, Jehovah's Witnesses, and walk away.
Poor Mikey, he's getting triggered. The highly educated at Bethel were reaping the benefits of accumulated wealth, living at Bethel expense-free, and Watchtower was benefiting from their college education. Thus, Watchtower used their skills and big bank deposits to accumulate wealth for themselves as well.
Well, you know, think about it from a banking perspective. You go to Bethel, and if you do have a little bit of money, Watchtower says, well, let us put it in our bank account and we'll take care of it. If and when you leave and the time comes, we'll give you your money back. But while that money's sitting in the bank, Watchtower's collecting the interest, you knuckleheads, but not the person that allows Watchtower to do this.
Well, look
And
at...
I don't mean knuckleheads, excuse me, I don't mean knuckleheads for the people that gave the letter. It's the knuckleheads for everyone else that is still continuing to sign this vow of poverty.
Yeah. Yeah, and especially the young teenage kids that don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, do they, say, hey, Mom and Dad, I think I need a lawyer to look at this letter to see what I'm signing away.
Yeah. No, they won't do that because they've been tricked and deceived into giving their explicit trust in Jehovah's organization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, and we also did a video years back about, the list they have of hotels and rental cars when you go visit Bethel, and take these tours and stuff. Well, at the fine print on this list, it said that all of your rewards points for your credit cards used, so when you rent a car, your rewards points would go to Watchtower.
Yep. We exposed that several years ago.
Yeah, just go to our channel and in the search box, put money scams. We've done several videos about these money scams. Every penny Watchtower's taken, and now they're wanting, the kids' piggy bank. Ugh. The wealthy at Bethel seemed to have the less physical jobs and thus were less stressed as many of us who were working overtime constantly. They strolled the hallways with their fashion-labeled clothes and $500 suits as we looked for our apparel at the donated clothes department. The wealthy decorated their rooms with the finest in furnishings. Crystal, marble, silver, and gold items were proudly displayed. Fine wine and spirits... Oh, poor Aunt Mo. He's never going to live that one down.
Nope.
Fine wine and spirits were common offerings to visitors of the wealthy. They didn't use public transportation. They had new Cadillacs and Honda Accords to carry them around.
Now, I want to interject something here because while Kim and I were still inside of Watchtower, her sister and brother-in-law, my sister-in-law and brother-in-law, went to Bethel. They went on one of their tours. And you remember what your sister said when she come back?
She was really shocked. She says, I couldn't believe how luxurious and materialistic Bethel was with all the fine furnishings.
And correct me if I'm wrong, did she not use the words it was shameful?
Yeah. She says it was shameful.
Wake up! Wake up!
Oh my goodness.
I know, it's starting to collect.
Wow. Glad our roof is done.
Yeah, me too.
We were not envious of the wealthy, but frustrated we had been duped. We swallowed hook, line, and sinker all the Watchtower teachings on the matter of higher education and not accumulating material possessions. All we could do was laugh at ourselves for being fools.
But thank goodness you woke up.
Yeah.
You know, there's an old adage, fool me once, shame on me. Shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. See, you dear friends are never going to be fooled again because now you know.
Yeah, and that is the reason this couple sent us this information, because they want their, brothers and sisters to wake up, and they want everybody, they want the entire world to know what Watchtower really is like at the top.
That's right.
This is at the top, guys. Your guys are going to love this. Surely the governing body was not living high off the hog. Guess again.
Yeah.
One weekday, we were invited by friends to an expensive restaurant there in Brooklyn. These friends were very kind and generous. Since it was a midweek dinner, we didn't make reservations. We were happy to have this special treat. Upon entering the main dining room, look who was there, a governing body member, Dan Sedlick, and his wife having dinner. He was about to blow his whole monthly Bethel allowance on one meal. Since funds were very limited, we counted every penny. We had heard about a resort that the wealthy visited in New Paltz, New York, called Mohonk Mountain House. See enclosed. And they sent me this. I don't know if you can see the picture there. For $10 a person, the resort allowed people to hike all day on resort trails. You could not enter the Mohonk Mountain House Resort building. That was only for overnight guests. We made plans to visit Mohonk. Although the $10 admission price was 15% of our monthly allowance, we made the sacrifice and went. After hiking several hours on beautiful and picturesque paths, we decided to call it a day. Before leaving, we went to the main resort house entrance to take a picture. Guess who we saw arriving and entering the resort? A governing body member, Lyman Swingle. He was alone and dressed very casually. We identified ourselves to him as Bethelites. He immediately explained to us he was only at Mohonk to meet up with some brothers, although we didn't ask him why he was there. We had guilty conscience.
Guilt. Yeah, no, guilt.
We asked if we could take a picture with him, and he graciously approved. His monthly Bethel allowance would have bought him a nice lunch at that resort. Also, when a governing body member's Albert Schroeder's son, Judah Ben Schroeder, got married, the wedding reception was on a luxury boat traveling up the Hudson River.
Oh. You know what this is quickly becoming? The lifestyles of the rich and famous. That's what this is.
Yeah, exactly. You just can't make this stuff up.
No, you can't. That's why letters like this are very informative and very well appreciated.
Yeah. The son married into a wealthy family who was in the automobile business. Wait for it.
I know, wait. Okay. Now, we've done a video on this before, how the board members' families have little finger businesses that are operated by the Watchtower and Babel Craft Society, so they keep the money is all kept in-house. So I will just about bet that this has something to do with leasing cars to Bethelites, or it has to do with getting the vehicles to the circuit and district overseers. Am I close?
Close. This family provided cars to Watchtower, which in turn were used by circuit overseers in their ministry. Now we know that there's even a website, Circuit Overseer Cars for Sale, that you can go there and you can buy these cars.
Yeah.
So it's
Well-
a win-win situation because, you know, the wealthy family that donates the cars, it's a tax write-off for them. Watchtower can turn around and sell these cars and get the money.
Well, we've been in a couple of congregations where, you know, the wealthier elders were driving used circuit overseer or district overseer cars. And the thing is you know darn well, just like their buildings in, New York, they were well kept and well maintained. So, you know, if you happen to be a Jehovah's Witness with a little bit of money, you were actually buying a decent vehicle.
Yeah. This family provided cars, to governing body members have always had very close relationship with wealthy JWs.
You mean
Yeah.
the ones that are on the board of directors?
Marriage was an interesting subject talked about at Bethel. During daily morning worship and talks with the Bethel family, Watchtower encouraged single male Bethelites not to marry at a young age. The unofficial age was 30 years plus, so most married after reaching 30 years of age. Some Bethelites would not only marry in the Lord, but also marry into money. Some would marry older women if need be.
Wow. The search for more money.
You ready for what woke them up?
Yes, yes.
One day while at Bethel, my wife received a letter from the Social Security office. This was a turning point for us. Why were they writing? We had not communicated with them.
Social Security? Wait a minute. You and I did a video several years ago about how these Bethelites are getting screwed because they spend their entire lives working for Bethel, and then when they do finally retire, there's no money in Social Security. Is that what this is?
Shut up. We had not communicated with them. The letter stated that my wife had not worked enough to collect Social Security at retirement age.
There it is. There it is.
I think you peeked at this letter.
No, I haven't read.
No, but you know,
We actually did.
It's been a common theme, and we
Yeah.
did do a video several years ago. And if I remember right, there was a little problem with the Social Security office.
Yes,
And
because Watchtower wasn't collecting.
they were
That's
not.
right.
Watchtower was not collecting money, you know, to pay into the retirement and workman's
That's
comp.
right.
They weren't paying
That's
workman's
right.
comp, and if I remember right, I'd have to go back and watch the
Yeah,
video. But there
but I
was
think
something
you're right.
about the IRS and Social Security office that Watchtower wasn't doing, so they had to change all that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, we've covered a lot over the past several years, haven't we?
Well, the last time I was on our video dashboard, we had like 1,200 videos,
Oh, jeez.
or at least like 1,100 or something like that. Yeah.
And that doesn't include what we still have on our first channel that we still need to upload.
And I wanted, before I forget, I want to thank everybody so much who have watched our videos, because when I was on the dashboard, and it was some other problem that I was taking care of, but on the dashboard I happened to notice that with all of our videos, we've had 8.5 million views on our videos. So thank you
Are you
guys.
serious?
I kid you not. I don't remember the other numbers, but it was
8.5?
8.5 million views on all of our videos.
I would have never guessed. I would have never
was
guessed
shocked.
that. Holy crap.
I was shocked.
Wow.
And then like the
So that's-
top video of I think it's called JWs Are in Trouble or Watchtowers in Trouble, something like that. It has had almost 200,000 views.
Wow.
What were you gonna say?
So if Watchtower still claims that they have 8 million Jehovah's Witnesses, then that's one view per Jehovah's Witness around the world, ain't it?
We digress.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. They advised her how many quarters of employment she needed to qualify. A few days later, the same Watchtower accountant who did our orientation when we first arrived at Bethel 4 years previously confirmed my wife's Social Security retirement status. That was a wake-up call. We needed to leave Bethel and prepare for retirement. That we did. The last month at Bethel, I was actually shunned by Bethel management for having decided to leave.
Wow.
How dare they think of themselves?
4 years of service, nothing in retirement, and now you want to go and leave? Wait a minute. See, the problem with the friends writing this is that you didn't believe Armageddon was coming minutes away.
Yeah, thinking of yourself.
You need to stay in the safety of Jehovah's organization if you want to survive Armageddon. To hell with retirement, because, you know, Armageddon is just minutes away. See, that was your real problem. That's been all of our problems.
Well, I was going to say, you know, I was told that I was not going to finish high school.
Well,
Good Lord, now I'm going to be 56 next month, next week.
Look at what we did when you and I got married. Oh, we'll never have children in this system of things. 4 years later, here comes our wonderful daughter. Oh, she'll never go to school in this system. Well, years later, she graduated. Well, she graduated. And then, oh, she'll never get married in this system. And then several years after that, she got married. And then it's like, well, we'll never have grandkids in this system. And we're at the age of where we can have grandkids, even if they are adopted. It's a snare and a racket, friends.
We weren't supposed to grow old in this system.
We weren't
and you're
supposed-
growing old.
Yeah, just look at all the gray hairs.
Get back to the letter.
Hey, there isn't any amount of grease in Formula 44 that's going to change this color.
People were afraid to leave.
Yeah, that's the fear. That's the control.
Several asked us how we mustered up the courage to turn in our separation letter. Our 4 years of hard work on behalf of Watchtower meant nothing to them.
And that's the reality of the Watchtower Babel Crap Society. You mean nothing. That is unless you die at Bethel, and then your body means something. Your corpse means something.
Yeah. Now here is the reason. We share this experience for several reasons. JWs need to know what is going on behind the scenes. As Watchtower counsels against a college education and accumulation of wealth, they do the opposite. They accumulate vast amounts of real estate and stock portfolios. As beneficiaries, Watchtower inherits life insurance policies and property of all kinds from wills and family trusts of deceased Jehovah's Witnesses. We were told by a Bethel heavy, someone who has a lot of influence, that wills and trusts were a strong revenue of Watchtower. And I happen to know my childhood friend. They were multimillionaires. They were into gas and oil.
Yep.
And everything is going to the Watchtower. Her daughter could really use the money because, she works 12-hour shifts and they do nothing to help her. And all of the money is going to Watchtower. Makes me sick. As they counseled against higher education and materialism, they turned a blind eye when their favorites were involved.
Right.
Watchtower sucks the lifeblood out of the poor brotherhood and are constantly asking for more money. And that's why we put the clip at the beginning.
Yep.
Older generation witnesses are living in poverty because they believe Watchtower and didn't prepare for the golden years. There are JWs that are homeless. I know of a sister who, as a single parent, was so desperate she became a Mormon to get much needed financial assistance. Obviously, she was disfellowshipped for apostasy. And then, like you've seen at the beginning of the clip, Caleb and Sophia are sitting there watching the disaster relief that Watchtower does, and it just makes you feel so warm and fuzzy. But what about taking care, or at least encouraging, ones to, plan for the future? Yeah, Armageddon's not coming any minute. Plan for the future. And I just want to mention here that we're in contact with several teenagers and young people Thank you, Isaac, for giving us an update.
Yes, thank you.
And thank you on your, blog for supporting ones in your age group, because there's so many that are waking up, but they're still living at home. And we talk to so many of them, and we always tell them the same thing. Get an education. Finish high school. Think about either like a trade school or, technical college, an education. Plan for the future. Don't believe that Armageddon's coming any minute. Don't be like us and be,
Right.
fools and duped.
So, I've said this once before, and I've said it many times. I'm going to say it again. Be very careful how you use that book, the Bible, because if you use it in a way to manipulate people, it belongs to our adversary. If you use it as a means of freedom, then it belongs to the person of freedom. Now think about how Watchtower has used the illustration of the widow's mite when you heard all of this.
Yeah. Watchtower is a money-making, non-profit real estate conglomerate with a massive legal department of lawyers masquerading as a religion. Now remember, guys, this is from someone who was at Bethel and saw all of this. This is what they're telling you. They provide no material assistance in form of charity and never will. The actions of Watchtower leadership prove they don't care if the Brotherhood is struggling to pay rent, pay a heating bill, pay a phone bill, medications, food, and other essentials. Recently, I visited a sister who is in her 80s. She is struggling to pay for food and her medications. I helped her with some errands and noticed in her closet 2 dresses. The closet was practically empty. I paid for her meds, and in desperation she cried out to me, "I'm poor." It broke my heart. She then apologized to me for having cried out. She said, "I should have never said that." Watchtower is to blame for the suffering of countless innocent followers. Watchtower leadership as a whole has no empathy or compassion for members who struggle to clothe and feed their families. They shamelessly cite the words found at Matthew 26:11, "For you always have the poor with you." Hopefully our life experience at Bethel as it relates to higher education and material possessions will help others see what really is going on at Watchtower. If we had not gone to Bethel and seen for ourselves the truth about the truth, we would not have prepared for our retirement. We would be regular pioneers living by the seat of our pants, waiting for Armageddon to come at any moment. So thank you, friends.
Welcome to your freedom, obviously.
Yeah. But
Because we just did put this couple on the recent nail and coffin.
yeah, so thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I want to mention also, they sent me this information here. It is the Pew Research findings on JW incomes. 48% of Jehovah's Witnesses make less than $30,000 annually. Only the American Baptists, 53%, and the National Baptists, 49%, have a higher low-income rate. 4% of JWs make more than $100,000 annually, lowest percentage among listed religions. Overall, Jehovah's Witnesses are listed last by the Pew Research study as it relates to membership income. And then it says, see last page where Jehovah's Witnesses are listed. Most economically depressed.
Depressed. Yep.
And the chart they sent me, I know it's kind of hard to see, but Jehovah's Witnesses are here at the bottom. Sad.
They want everything, including your corpse.
Yeah. Yep.
Wake up, Jehovah's Witnesses, and take a look at what you're really involved with.
Yeah. And I want to mention that Faith Leaks has a bunch more documents they have put on there, and I'm going to put the link down below. This was really disturbing because, I mean, there's like 150 documents between Watchtower and this body of elders, and apparently Palmer congregation in Massachusetts has a pedophile problem.
Big surprise there.
Yeah, and of course names have been redacted, but like I said, I'll put the link down below to that, and my goodness, it took me a long time to download all those documents, and when you start reading these documents, it's like, oy vey, it's disturbing. And how many of the rank and file knew that there was a pedophile right in the congregation, and they were doing nothing? Same story, you know, they were hiding it. Same story.
See, when the Watchtower Bible Crap Society sends out their joke of ministers to sit in front of the congregations, to sit in the auditoriums telling you that Armageddon's going to happen any minute, they're not talking about the end of the world. They're talking about the end of Watchtower. That's code for Watchtower's just about done.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you can see why so many fight against us and try to get rid of us and attack us.
Because they don't want the Jehovah Witness to start thinking, to start looking into who and what Watchtower really is, because every Jehovah Witness that wakes up is another nail in Watchtower's coffin lid, and they're also another person that is no longer providing a positive cash flow.
See, and they're not leaving their estates to Watchtower anymore either.
That's right.
And if that is one of their biggest revenues coming in, yeah, you can see, you know, why they're in panic mode.
That's why they got to put a little Caleb in Sophia cartoon groveling for piggy bank money. You men are nothing but a bunch of sons of bitches. That's all you are.
Yeah, and poor Caleb and Sophia, you know, it's a good thing they're not real kids, but we can see this was us back in the 70s.
Absolutely. Every dime, every penny, go to Watchtower. I mean, for crying out loud, I
don't even finish high school.
I mean, I even saw, this is how bad it gets. I even saw Jehovah's Witnesses wearing penny loafers without any pennies in that little slot. Well, what happened to the pennies? I sent them to Watchtower. This is how desperate they're getting.
Wow. Yeah. It's really, you know, pathetic. But we are so glad to see that age bracket from like 12 to 30. So many of you are waking up. And that is awesome because you see Watchtower for what it is, and you're making plans and you're preparing. And that is awesome to see.
Yeah.
And I don't care what anybody says. You know, any of those young ones contact me, and I'm going to tell them, you know, plan for the future. Yeah. And, you know, just plan that there is never going to be an Armageddon. So what do you want to do with your life?
Yeah.
And if Watchtower did that, they might have more money coming in. But all these poor people?
It's already too late for Watchtower. It's already too late. They've already dug their grave and they got 1 foot in it.
Yeah. And, you know, we're hearing more from circuit assemblies that have been happening the past couple of months. And out of the attendance, most of the baptisms are either older people over 60 or young ones under 16.
Who were threatened not being able to get their driver's license until they get baptized.
Yeah. And pressure from the parents.
Exactly.
So, you know, then you've only got the older ones. So that whole age bracket, you know, from like teenager, you know, up to family age, you know, to where they have young children is disappearing.
Yeah.
And I think it's because of YouTube and the internet.
Well, I'm convinced it's because of YouTube. I really am. Because, you know, not everybody has the time to sit down and read. But everybody can put a little earphone while they're working at the computer and listen to a YouTube video.
Yeah. Yep.
That's how damaging YouTube is. And that's why, in a lot of cases, YouTube is now censoring the conservative voices. That's why they're making sure people are getting kicked off. That's why even YouTube is cracking down on what could be copyrighted videos, because at the very beginning of this, we wanted to use a clip from a Mel Brooks movie, Spaceballs, was it, or something like that, where, you know,
the search for more money.
The search for more money, because what Kim has discovered is that some of our older videos are now being taken off of YouTube because we've used short clips like that. So YouTube don't give a damn about the fair use notice. They don't give a damn. This is how far the
Or
censorship
freedom of
is-
speech.
Yeah, this is how far they're going with all of this. Is that they don't give a damn about free speech
Yeah.
or
And,
the law regarding the copyright law.
yeah. So I want to thank all of you so much who are sending cards and birthday
Yeah,
gifts.
next
I
week, ain't it?
appreciate it. Yeah, next week, the 19th, 56.
56.
Yep. But
Wow.
I did just have my annual at the doctor's office, and she says I'm in great shape. You know, except for the little lung problem, I'm in really good shape. Had everything tested, and I'm doing okay. So, yeah. So that was a relief to get that. And I want to thank everybody so much. So many of you have offered to host our website, and we really appreciate it. You know, the kindness and, you know, consideration and wanting to help out has just been overwhelming. So we appreciate it. There's a couple of options that we're looking at right now, and when I get a chance, you know, I hopefully will get the website back up and running. And I'll have to go through everything, you know, because we know Watchtower is cracking down on
yeah.
anything that is on websites or YouTube or anything. You know, I was even a little concerned about even just using the Caleb cartoon at the beginning. So, you know, let them come after me. I'll find
Well,
out.
that's the thing. We've stood face to face with this giant when they gave us 9 copyright strikes, and we said, "Come after us, boys!" Because remember, friends, that was copyright strikes from who? Where? Pennsylvania. Right from the puppet masters themselves.
And I appealed all of them. And, you know, we did have to take down the drama, you know, about Lot's wife, but everything else was restored.
That's right.
And what was so pathetic about Watchtower's attempt at that is one of the copyright strikes was a talk that one of the governing body, I think it was AMTMO, gave, and the recording we had was from someone in the audience. It wasn't even a Watchtower video.
That's right. Right. So, hey, come on, Watchtower. We stood up to you once, and we'll stand up to you again, because the fear that you tried to make dwell in our lives for the rest of our lives is no longer there.
Yeah.
It's not there.
And so what if you do a subpoena to find out who we are? You know who we are.
You know.
You come to
know.
New Mexico and fight us.
Yeah. Please.
Cowards.
It's what they are.
Yeah, greedy. I better go before I start cussing. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Thank you so much for everything, your subscribers and your views.
Yes.
8.5 million
Wow.
views. And thank you to our dear friends who sent us this letter. We appreciate it. And, you know, thank you for, you know, having the courage to speak out and tell us what you saw. And I know you saw more, but you can't say anything right now at this time. So we look forward to, you know, the day that you're free totally and can come out and, you know, say all the stuff that you saw.
I mean, maybe at that point we'll do a Skype video with them. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. So thank you, and you all have a wonderful day. We love
Bye.
you. Bye.